Well, he's known for like going back in projects 40 years after they were supposed to be, revisited. But
Interesting.
Oh,
Oh.
go back to that.
So what you're saying is in about, what, 2047, there's a chance? If he's still working by that stage?
Or an Avatar 3, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, we'll come back to this particular puzzle. But you notice there that there was kind of two control panels, and down below it looks to be like a lens that obviously we can't get to because there's quite a lot of electricity going around there.
yeah.
So put a pin on that. We'll be back to it soon.
Shut tight.
Okay, we've got more buttons. Oh, interesting. The geometric
Yes.
shape is such an unusual gimmick, I suppose.
It is and it isn't. Well, I think the gimmick is, yeah, I think you're right in saying like it's definitely it's a nice means of communication is the way I describe it. Because I was thinking to myself, like, I think the first time I played this, I kind of had trouble kind of getting my head around the whole kind of alien kind of communication of it all. And then the second time I played it, which was for this, I found it like, it was seamless, and I kind of like knew what I was doing then. Because so we just found the purple rod there.
Yeah. And it has a pattern on it.
I don't know the
It has a pattern on it, yes. So basically, the way this works is you'll notice that there's a couple of doors in this kind of area that's been basically named the Nexus. And again, we're basically trying to piece together what these areas are meant to be, essentially. So Nexus is kind of like a convenient kind of name for it because it does seem to be kind of like a central location for something. Like there's a command center down a tunnel, and there seems to be like kind of like an end, almost like a power generator area down below. So it's obviously important to for some reason. And then a couple of doors.
Wall.
Yep. There's a hole in the wall, just for this occasion.
One of the metal plates.
So yeah, we have all these different things as well. So essentially, the rods are passwords, is the best way to describe it. And when you find the rod, you find the corresponding door for it and enter in the password and see what happens. That's essentially the shorthand of it. And naturally, the trick of it all is to, the doors are essentially colored. It doesn't look at that way a little bit. It's very subtle, but some of them are more obvious than others. And thankfully, there's only like 3 or 4, so the actual degree of trial and error isn't that bad. You can just basically set the password on each panel and see which one bites.
Yeah.
Somebody spent a long time engraving these smooth grooves on the surface of this column. I wish I knew what for.
Oh, there you go. So I think you were saying there, Burke, it was kind of like how the kind of the actual the premise of the shapes there is quite interesting. I was kind of thinking to myself, like if you're trying to describe our kind of numbering system to an alien, we kind of go, okay, first of all, we have these symbols here. They go from like 0 to 9, and then if you want anything higher than that 9, we have to just put a 1 in front of it and then go again. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, basically red, green, and blue are almost like teens and 20s a little bit. If this culture just arbitrarily decide that red is the lowest common denominator, then followed by green and then blue, you're basically just setting in like a phone number, essentially.
The door is shut tight.
Okay, I get it.
That's the way I interpret it anyway. Because it's all geometric stuff. Like if like the shapes are going in, like they're going in order of like how many sides they have.
Yeah.
So I think it starts off with like triangles, so that's 3, then 4. I think it's the order now in a minute. So you have 3, 4, then you have the diamond, so you can say that's 8, 9, then 10. Then you have a dodecahedron there, so it goes up in increments. Like it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You know, and then it just basically changes color. So what's not to say that like green is basically like our
Your
10s
team.
or
Your-
20s, yeah. You know.
Okay, I like that theory. I like it, and I thank you for putting it in terms of.
Yeah, because like again, this game. Look, even though you're like in a party of 3, you're pretty much on. Like once you're past the opening puzzle and Brink's death, you're pretty much on your own for the majority of the game. Like we do meet up with Robbins eventually. In fairness, like there's nothing to say we're not. But she's doing her own thing and we're doing our adventure too. So it's not as if we're gonna like team up all the time. So yeah, you do kind of have to solve the puzzles itself, but not only do you have to solve the puzzles, you have to kind of figure out what all these areas are by kind of like like intuitively trying to see, okay, if we're in the real world, what would this be like? So obviously like this area here has to have some kind of significance because it seems to be like a central hub for something, and also seems to power the place as well.
Oh, they changed color as well as ship.
Yeah, so
sorry, Nordy has just figured this out.
I just realized the issue of having the colorblind guy on this playthrough.
Yeah, he had not realized that there was multiple colors there. So
yeah,
I just figured it was you have to find the right rod and the right rod's color to the right door. That you're going to have to find multiple inanimate carbon rods.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's the saying. The rods are essentially their key codes for all intents and purposes. The passwords.
But I didn't know that you would be clicking through this multiple times to get each of these looking a different color.
Yeah, that. Yeah, exactly. So that's also the trick of it is trying to.
See that?
Nope. Thanks, dear.
Okay, so now we've established like how this dynamic is going to be. James is going to solve the puzzles for Burkwa, and Burkwa's going to tell James what's red and green.
We make it work.
In fairness, like we have to coach you through that in Black Mesa as well, so that's very consistent. Like he's there swearing blind to us. Oh, they're all green. It's like you're fucking colorblind. Take it from us, they're red.
Oh, he did mention you were trying to gaslight him into thinking they were different colors.
Yes, we're trying to gaslight him into proceeding in the fucking game. Yes, that's exactly what we're trying to do.
The door is shut tight.
There's very chance you were looking at the rod upside down.
I thought that initially when I was playing the game, like as in like the rod was like the kind of the start of the thing. Oftentimes you just kind of overthink it, and no, literally like where the rod starts is the first button, second, third, fourth. It is actually that simple. The issue here is just genuinely trying to find the right door. And another issue as well is that, and I found this a problem in the first game as well, the actual the symbols for the dodecahedron and the I think it's the hexagon look very, very similar. So sometimes you might kind of look at it, like especially if like the third or fourth symbol is further away, it will look like one or the other, but it's actually the other one. So sometimes it helps just to try either one out to make sure you have the right one. Okay, so I think we're gonna do this puzzle first, right? So I think it's all the one really, because this one can be solved now. So what you have here is a control panel and a button. So
nothing happened.
So I am gonna demonstrate this proper here for the sake of the video. So I press this button here that's giving us 4 blues, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And then this thing appears.
Goes down into the big vat of electricity.
And it moves up a few beats. So there we go again then with a different button. So So that was the central button we picked there, and it didn't seem to do anything, what we can tell.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So who knows what that is?
Okay, another one down to electricity.
Yep. And so after pressing that button there, it goes left. So
Yeah.
So you can kind of make out then from the configuration that everything, the small square there is obviously some sort of like focal point, and everything around that is up, down, left, right. So we've established that. So now you need to figure out what's the whole point of this object, essentially.
Yeah.
And what we are meant to do with it. So once you kind of figure out, like, obviously this is essentially the way of steering this object into where you need it to go. The second job then is to try and figure out how to get the lens from down below, because obviously you are absolutely not going to be able to go down there. That is just not happening. You are going to get zapped to fuck. So this thing is supposed to help you out here. So, what do you think, team? Before Past Me gets there before you.
Purple. Is he the purple rod?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll stop you there and I'll say it has nothing to do with the rods. This is a separate puzzle for the rods.
Right. Okay. I haven't a clue, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, you go up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, kind of put in one of those type of codes.
Yeah.
Up,
I'll
left,
give you a
right,
clue.
up, right, left, right, L1, L2, R1, R2.
Nice idea.
Oh.
Is that a clue? Is that helping?
No, it's just doing something different. So,
Okay.
More, go further. You
just do all of fill that whole column up with colors.
We don't have to, thankfully. But they just basically are the amount of commands you can give this object.
But left, right, up, down. Is there move away from the camera as well?
No, there isn't. But thankfully, that won't be an issue because everything is basically on our perspective wise is on our level, so it's okay. So I'll give you a clue, and I'll just say the phrase. I'll just say claw machine.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, we're trying to find our lens. Here is our cuddly toy.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do here. So that object there is basically a picker, and
Yeah.
the lens is basically dislodged from where it is, and what we're trying to do is basically get that picker to grab the lens and put it back to where it is. So in order to do that, you have to figure out how many directions you need to basically land on top of the lens that's dropped, grab it, and then the second time then is trying to place it on where it should be going.
Yeah,
So that's
I'm so glad I don't have to brain this in real time because I'm still confused as to the connections between the colors.
Did you ever keep some colors? Look at the fucking color.
So, so the colors are a little, they're a little bit misdirecting here. What the colors are basically is like, okay, on this panel, purple is left, blue is up, yellow is down, and green is right. That's all we need to establish here. So once you've established that, like, okay, it moves up, like, say, a certain level, a bit to the left or right, then you can judge how many you need then just from a bit of trying out a couple of times. So weird enough, this is probably the most trial and error puzzle that's in the game, because essentially you have to just work it out from there.
Right. Okay.
So what's basically happened there now is that we've had to put the lens in place, to basically put the power back into this area. That's what's happened there. The reason why the doors weren't working for us the first time around was because there's no energy.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's that puzzle solved. And now we have a door open.
Hey!
Go through. And more puzzles!
So much for the cafeteria idea.
Yeah.
Austin, are you there?
I just got the power turned on and a door opened up here. They use geometric shapes as a kind of combination.
So basically, that's like the first two, like, kind of like very important puzzles solved. Because what basically does, it just establishes how, like, things are done around here. So all of it is with, like, geometrics and stuff like that. So there isn't necessarily a language in terms of, like, okay, square is a phrase or a triangle is this. It's almost like, it's almost intuitive to what it's doing. So like you said there, Burp, you were being thrown off with what the colors mean compared to, like, the previous puzzle. There's two completely different things going on there. It doesn't happen to pick colors because it's all relative to itself. You know, kind of way. Same way with the rods. Like, it's a purple door, so the rod belongs to that door, let's say. And then obviously the shapes are just corresponding to that. So it just, shapes are just very ubiquitous in this alien culture, it seems. But then again, you can say the same about us. Like, you know, we use, like, letters and symbols for loads of different things. You know. So, you know, it's kind of the same kind of premises, I suppose.
Maggie, good work.
Well, it's been a good introduction.
It has. We'll leave it here. So now that you've kind of got your first experience with the dig, what do you think so far? Now that we've established that it isn't just blown up a comet, there is actually some alien life here to work with.
I'm enjoying the banter, the witty dialogue, as is kind of trademark Lucas art. Yeah, I'm enjoying the puzzles.
It's like Prometheus meets Armageddon.
Very good way of putting it. Very, very good way of putting it. And again, predates all of them.
Yeah.
Fair play to Stevie S for coming up with the concept, though.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, looking forward to seeing where this goes. How does it resolve? We've left, I think, at a good time in terms of not, leaving it too.
Oh God, the quips.
Right. So until next time.
Until next time, I'll click the thing. We'll see you next for more clicking of things.
Click the thing.
Click
Click
the
the
thing.
thing.